How to manage your anxiety in relationship. To help you weather the discomfort and nurture your relationships, you need to know how to deal with anxiety in relationships. Why do you experience stress in your relationships? When it comes to relationships, anxiety can be confusing. Often cloaking itself in withdrawal and self-protection, anxiety can isolate you at the times you are overwhelmed and most need support. Surprisingly, you worry or feel anxious about your relationships because you care deeply about the people in your lives. In fact, feeling anxiety in relationships can be a superpower. It makes you more sensitive than those who aren't anxious, allows you to notice things they don't, and can even make you better partners. Sometimes, however, you can become overwhelmed by trying to manage or ward off your anxiety. You don't realize how you come across to the people you love, or worse, you are too consumed by it to risk showing vulnerability. This is nothing to feel bad about, though. Feeling bad about feeling bad just makes things worse. Instead of ruminating about feeling anxious around and for the people you love, you can use your anxiety as motivation for learning how to deal with anxiety in relationships. 1. Know there's a purpose. The most important thing to know about anxiety is that it isn't dangerous, and there's nothing wrong with you if you feel it. If you're worried about something, trust that there's a reason for your concern. Anxiety is a signal that there's something calling for your attention. There are wisdom and information in it. Once you accept that the uncomfortable feeling you're having is purposeful, the next step might be easier to take. Think of your emotions as signals about how you are doing in relation to your hopes, desires, and goals. Get the impetus for you to set things in balance and your anxiety is done to achieve it. It's trying to get your attention by triggering your focus. Not all anxiety is the same. Instead of focusing on being worried, you might shift your attention to understanding what your discomfort is trying to tell you. Panic. To really know how to deal with anxiety in relationships, you need to know what type of anxiety you are dealing with. Can coexist with irrational anxiety, or anger, or rational anxiety, or even boredom and excitement. Do with your relationship can happen when you take the time to name part of your life. If you determine that what you're feeling about your relationship, you will find the next reduce the stress we are feeling and become better able to gain clarity about how to proceed. Some anxiety is almost always rooted in the irrational. Take the common fear of, I can't handle it. Have you ever thought about looking at the evidence? What does it say? Are you afraid, averse to the discomfort, or is it literally true that you can't handle it? Which of your relationship worries are wholly unlikely to happen? If there's no evidence to support your worry, chances are likely that such a worry is unfounded and irrational. Irrational anxiety doesn't mean such a situation isn't possible, just that it isn't probable. When your mind starts spinning irrational fears, try reining in the possibilities to focus more on the probabilities. You can't stop your thoughts or make them go away, but you can choose to replace them with more reasonable ones. 5. Courageously consider the rational. Rational anxiety signals a realistic threat that's worth heeding. Data that support anxiety are often minimal and inconsistent. However, rational anxiety is always inconveniently irksome if you are brave enough to pay attention to it. It's always trying to protect you, so it's worth sorting through the small, inconsistent bits of data to courageously determine the message in rational anxiety. 6. Practice self-care. When you're feeling worn down from struggling with how to deal with anxiety in relationships, you're more vulnerable to the negative symptoms of anxiety. Even though you may not feel like doing so, this is the time to limit alcohol, sleep more, get proper nutrition and exercise moderately. It might also be the time to power pose and boost your confidence as you sort through what your anxiety is bringing to your attention. Dealing with relationship anxiety can be extremely inconvenient and uncomfortable. No one wants to be a detective in a close relationship. Yet, when worry about a relationship strikes, you deserve to take the time to understand the message behind the worry and its importance. By knowing how to deal with anxiety in relationships, you will give yourself the opportunity to make or request necessary adjustments. Then you will be able to resume nurturing your relationships with the people you love.